Hello and welcome to A Cup of Grace and Lori. I'm Grace.
And I'm Lori. And today I thought it would be fun to discuss the topic of how to make decisions and whether any decision is right or wrong. And
Mm,
I guess I'm basing this on law of attraction, which says that any decision you make can be right. There are no wrong decisions,
okay.
according to Abraham Hicks.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought it would be interesting to delve into that because I mean, when I have to make a decision, the first, sometimes decisions are easy to make. Do you agree? Like,
Yeah.
there, for example, sometimes I'm invited to a blogger event
Mm-hmm.
and I read about it and I get excited right away. And I don't even necessarily have to read that many details. I might read, the general gist of it, but already I'm getting excited and then I mentally I look at the date, make sure I don't have a conflict. And then I know I want to go. And it's funny, I usually know within a minute or less that I want to go to something like that. And then I know, okay, this is definitely a yes,
Yeah. So
because
it's
I
based on
know,
your feeling.
yeah, and I know
Mm-hmm.
right away. Now, there are the other, and this, I'm just giving that as an example, just because those are the decisions that I make daily, right? And then there are the other ones where I have to think about it, and I'm like, well, here, and I weigh the pros and cons, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, where's the location? Is it far from me? What time is it? Is it going to be a late night? What's going to be involved? How will I promote it? A number of things. And those types of decisions take me longer to make. And sometimes I'll say, okay, I'll sit with that for a bit, and then I'll go and do something else. And it might take me a day to decide whether I'm going to, go to that event or not. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and so, as I said, I don't have it with the 100% yeses. I usually know within 30 seconds that I want to
Okay.
do something. 30, maybe a minute tops, because I do read the email or whatever. But the
Mm-hmm.
other ones where I'm, you know, taking longer, I believe it's fear. It's
Oh.
sometimes, not always,
Uh-huh.
but sometimes fear is holding me back. Like, oh, I don't know if I can do that, or,
Uh-huh.
is
Yeah.
going to be too disruptive. So there's the fear element coming in. Sometimes they're just things that I just don't want to do because I'm like,
Yeah.
this isn't a good use of my time. And I'm becoming better at just saying, you know what, this isn't a good use of my time, so I'm going to pass on that. Those ones are easier because there's certain criteria I look at, when I'm evaluating it. And so those are easier just to decline. But there's the ones in the middle that are like,
Hmm.
hmm,
They're not absolute yeses and
they're
they're
not
not
absolute
absolute nos.
yeses and they're not absolute no's.
Uh-huh.
And so, as I said, I can sit with it for a good day, maybe even 2 days, maybe a day, where I'm, hmm. And it got me thinking that those in between decisions,
Mm-hmm.
or perhaps they can be a yes. Perhaps
It can go either way.
they
Yeah.
can, exactly. Perhaps they can go either way, meaning depending on my attitude towards them. Not
Mm-hmm.
not the event itself, but my attitude towards it. So I could just say, you know what? This is going to be right for me. And I could bring that attitude to it. And I believe it would be right for me according to the law of attraction. because if we are connected to source energy,
Which we are.
which we are, but oh yes, we are for sure, but there are times when we feel disconnected from source,
Okay.
right?
Yep.
So if we are in the high vibration of being connected to source and being, in the moment and present and grateful and joyful,
Yeah.
then, and we maintain that vibration, then once we get to the event, we're only attracting like-minded experiences to us, because we're in that high vibration, which makes the event a perfect match,
Mm-hmm.
right? So
Yes. I see
yeah,
your thinking there. Yep.
yeah. So it's like those are the things, those that really amazes me, that we have this much power to
Mm. Yeah.
affect our lives the way they're going to play out,
Yes.
right?
It's all within us, man.
It is
That's
all
how
within
powerful
us.
we are. We're
Yeah.
powerful
So,
creators.
yeah. So it's not about, oh, well, is the event going to be this? Are there going to be people there I know? Are there, will I meet? That's not it at all. That is not it at all. It's
The key is your attitude.
the
Yeah.
key is my attitude and how high my vibration is. And that's all that matters. And once you're in that high vibration and connected to source, the rest doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of a revelation to me. I mean, in practical terms, because it actually, I'm trying to implement that and be daring, because there are, I do have these, as I said, the ones that are 100% yes, I know within a minute. And I actually probably know within a minute about the 100% no ones as well, to be honest. I do.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I entertain them just for to pretend I'm busy. You know what I mean? Like to say, oh, there's something to fill up my schedule. And that's really all it is, because
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't offer more than that, right? So I know that that's a false type of self. But as I said, these ones that fall in the middle, and they're colored by my fears mostly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, I realized that I have the power to make it go my way.
Yeah.
When I say go my way, I don't mean in a selfish way, but in the sense that go my way, in the sense that I'm connected to source, and my experience is going to be, enlightening, joyful, because I'm connected to source. I'm in that state. So I can only attract that to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll give you a contrast. I remember one time I was angry about something. I can't remember. I do, but I don't want to go into it. I don't want to,
Okay.
yeah, I don't want to activate that anger, but I was angry about something. And I went shopping. And when I was coming back, I was still angry, and I was driving, and I was quite angry. Um, and this was several years ago, by the way, not like last week. This was like
Okay.
about 7, 8 years ago. Anyhow, then so I was getting close to home, and then all of a sudden, and I was on a road where it was like 30, the speed limit was 30 or something. And I was like, oh, slow down, it's 30. So I'm driving 30. Well, this person, and she happened to be a woman, pulled right up close behind me, and she was honking on her horn, and she
Mm.
was really angry that I was going so slow. Well, I wasn't
Mm-hmm.
going slow, it was 30. And
Mm-hmm.
it was also, we're near a school, and there's kids out there and
Yeah.
everything. Well, funny, it must have been in summer because I had the window down. And this guy was on his lawn, and he yelled out to the woman behind me, slow down,
Yeah.
and he
Mm-hmm.
yelled it to her. and she was honking her horn like at me, and I was going like 30 because
Mhm.
it said 30, right? But then I realized when I got home, I thought, Lori, you attracted this to yourself because
Mm.
you were in this angry state and you attracted someone who was just actually I think she was even more angry than I was, right? Maybe we were about on par, but I did make the connection pretty pretty quickly after that that you know what, had you not been in this state, that she would have she wouldn't have um appeared behind me. She would have,
Mhm.
she would have somehow driven behind someone else and it wouldn't have been me.
Mhm.
So that just proved to me, okay, no, we definitely, whatever state we're in, we attract similar to us.
Mhm. Yeah.
So I that was a prime example. And it's funny because I don't actually get um well, I don't really get angry anymore. I really don't. I might get a little bit, you know, peeved
Annoyed?
or something,
Okay.
annoyed briefly, but I'm definitely not don't really get angry anymore. So I just wanted to clarify that was like about 7 or 8 years ago. But anyway, it did prove to me that we have the power to, we attract what we're modeling.
Vibrating at. Yeah.
Yeah, what we're vibrating at. So the opposite is also true that as we can attract the angry people, we can also attract a wonderful experience to ourselves in those situations where we like, as I said, where I'm like, it could go this way, it could go that way. But it's all me. It's all me that creates it.
Mhm.
So I'm going to try and embrace that energy and be fearless and, you know, um and tackle those or attend those events that have me a bit nervous or fearful.
Are
Um,
those is that the main reason why you're, in the in between sometimes when you're trying to decide something?
it's
Is
I
it
think
mainly fear?
yes, I do. I believe it's fear.
It's
Yeah.
not just mere disinterest?
Oh no, no, because disinterest falls into my other category where I can say, you know what, I'm really not
Absolute
interested in
no.
that.
Okay, okay,
Yeah, and I
okay.
probably know that within a minute or 30 seconds. I probably know. As I said, sometimes I'll entertain those ones just if I'm when I say entertain them, I'll consider them, but I really know that it's not right for me,
Mhm,
so I actually
mhm.
uh I used to go to them before and then now I'm like, no, I have limited time. I only want to go to events that, are a good match, a very good match. I just have to just say, oh, that's fear rearing its uh
Mhm,
ugly head or whatever,
mhm.
stopping me from, enjoying my life. So just and and then really, I mean, I could analyze the fear, but I don't even think that's necessary. I don't or try to break it down. I think just identifying it and saying, wait a minute, if I can just put fear aside and keep in this high vibration by doing what I do to keep in the high vibration, then there's nothing to worry about.
I'm just wondering, so these events that provoke fear in you,
Mhm.
what are some of the fears, for example?
Some
Are
of the
do you
fear.
fear that you might not actually enjoy the event and that you'd be
Um,
wasting your time?
no, I don't think it's that. If I really don't think I'm gonna enjoy it, it goes into that other category of,
Okay, so
yeah, no,
okay, so it does it have to do with
it's more
what you
like,
think of yourself?
uh, okay, will I fit in? Will I meet people
Yes,
I
so
know? Will
it's
I
about yes,
yeah,
your beliefs about yourself.
right, confidence,
Okay. Okay.
whatever. It's not, will I enjoy it? Because if I really don't think I'm gonna enjoy it, why would I go, right? If it if it doesn't sound like something I'm gonna enjoy, I wouldn't even give it much consideration. I would put it
Okay,
in that, yeah.
so
So
these
it's more
events
about
that
me. Yeah, it's more about me and how I would feel.
okay,
So,
all
but I
right.
mean that I've done things before that I've been afraid of. Like I've gone to events before. Um, you know, Grace knows this. When I was a lot heavier, and I'm in a blogging industry and influencer. I don't really like that word, but that's what it is. Industry where uh, appearance is really, there's a lot of emphasis placed on appearance. And I was 40, 50 pounds heavier and going to these events. So believe me, I mustered up the courage to go there, even though I didn't feel, like I looked very good or that I fit in, but I really wanted to go. So I was able to muster up the courage then. So I'm like, Lori, if you could do that then, and now you're 50 pounds lighter and you don't have that issue anymore, then what do you
Well,
worry
the
about?
external issue.
Yeah, the external issue. So I mean, sometimes we change, but we carry residual attitudes from our previous self or state that we were in. You know what I mean?
Well,
You know what?
yeah, I mean, that's why for me, I feel like healing the inside is far more impactful and crucial
Right,
than working on the outside. In
right.
our society, the emphasis is as without, as within. There is a famous spiritual text. It might be in the Emerald Tablets. There's a famous saying, it's as within, so without. I'm sure you've heard of it. It's entered the main consciousness, the main collective consciousness, as within, so without.
Mhm.
A lot of people who are on the healing journey
Yeah,
want to try to um, relearn, right?
yes,
Like
yes,
unlearn the external, putting emphasis on the external
yeah,
and going back within because,
right.
right?
But obviously,
Strengthening
yeah,
the within.
I didn't mean to imply that, that I haven't changed within, because I have, believe me, I've changed a lot within. I've changed back to my real self. But anyway, so no, I didn't mean to imply that. Um, all I meant to say was that I tackled these things when I was heavier, and I was afraid, of being rejected or whatever.
Hmm.
And so I'm like, wow, I did that then. And
Well,
now
it's still rearing its head sometimes, right?
sometimes, yeah,
Yeah.
but not
The
for that reason
residuals.
though. But Grace, it's not for that reason though. It's not for the reasons of that I didn't that I don't feel that I look okay. It's more like, oh, um, am I in the same league as these people? And I'm like,
It's
you
still
know what?
insecurity. Yes. Yeah.
Just
It's still what you feel about yourself, how
professional
you view. Yes.
insecurity, professional insecurity. But it's no longer tied to, my physical appearance, which used to be, you know, that used to pose a lot of problems for me, right? Because and produce a lot of anxiety in me before I would go to an event. That's gone. That's gone. But yeah, I guess I do have some professional anxiety, not related to my physical appearance, but more to do with, you know, um, my skills in my field. So
Okay.
yeah, so that's different. But you know what? I'm like, I'm part of this group. I mean, I am part of this group. I was invited. I belong here. And I guess I have to keep telling myself I do belong here, because sometimes part of me says, do I belong here? And I'm like, yes, I do. I was invited. I belong here. I'm part of this group, you know? So, and that's been a lifelong theme for me, no matter what my weight was, about um, you know, being part of a group, because I didn't feel I was so much when I was younger. And I had friends, but I probably had just close friends, like maybe a handful of close friends
Mm-hmm.
versus being like in a group. And I've always enjoyed being part of a group because of that, because it hasn't been my experience. So I do like to be part of a group. As I said, these are residual feelings from all my life. And I have to just let them go because they don't apply anymore. I feel like I am part of this group. I know intellectually I am, and I have to make sure emotionally I feel part of it. Um, like as I said, there are some feelings I just have to let go of, but there's the residual feeling of belonging, and that's what it is for me that can elicit some fear in me. Yeah.
But also, yeah, like be cognizant of managing your energy. I mean,
Hmm.
don't just say yes to any
Oh,
event
oh
that
no. Yeah.
instills fear in you just for the sake of saying yes and trying to prove yourself
Oh,
fearless.
no, no, no.
Your
It,
energy is important too, right? Where
yes,
your energy goes.
yes, and I agree with you about managing energy as opposed to managing time. Energy is a better strategy than managing time,
Hmm.
because if you manage your energy, then you know that's really all that matters, right? Our energy is what matters. Time is, yeah, we can't even define time. So, but yeah, no, no, I don't want to overburden myself, but it's like I don't want to not do something because I'm afraid of it. And because I want to do it, but I'm afraid. If I don't want to do it, eh, I won't do it. If I want to
Hmm.
do something and I'm afraid, I don't want fear to hold me back. If anyone watching has some thoughts about their decision making process, do you make decisions quickly? Do you mull them over? Um, did any of what I said resonate with you?
Thank you.
Bye.